to talk about our next topic here in our class is a topic of a celebration speech. And celebration in that celebrating the things that we take for granted in life that affect us every day. One of those things I personally believe is even the most influential in our life that we don't necessarily think about on a daily basis is that of religion. Now, and like I said, many things, but religion itself uh, influences our daily lives, whether we think about it or not. It's just a lot of times it's only remembered or thought about on Sundays and holidays and such like that. And but the way that I've seen it through my studies is that religion itself, not let alone Christianity, but religion, has stood the test of time, and that has been woven in our history, and that religion affects political decisions, it affects our money decisions, it affects our health, even. But before that, let's talk about how it affects how geography is based on religion a lot of times and how it's described. So first, let's look at how religion has stood the test of time and is woven in our history. So we have it's John 1:1 in the Bible, and it says that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And another verse in the Bible says, where Jesus says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And so, for that, I believe the reason why I picked that, or say, was that it's the same thing with religion, how it has stood the test of time, uh, and how I took a class or a seminar kind of thing with a man named Josh McDowell. He's a big man, he's a big evangelist, youth evangelist, and he actually talked about how the books in the New Testament have stood the test of time through war. Copies of it have survived many wars, and that throughout history and ancient world civilizations that have occurred. And so we have, so that alone is proof that religion has stood the test of time, no matter what is thrown at them. Also, into our U.S. history itself is we have when the Pilgrims came over, they came over to America for religious freedom, and so that alone proves it. So we have a start. Is that the Pilgrims came, founded on religion. Then the founders of our nation, when they wrote the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence, they all were deists and theologians, and so they all had this. And so religion affected their decisions and how they founded our country. And so then later on in history, we have Martin Luther King and other people that their civil rights movements and other movements have been based on religion. And then also, so going into politics here, uh, that a lot of times political scientists have even stated, and it was in a textbook I'm in now called Keeping the Republic. And in this textbook, it talks about stereotypes used in government, and basically this government that how government uh, claims, or so to say, or that we stereotype that most Democrats are Catholic and Jews, and Protestants, Baptists, Methodists are all mainly Republican. So that we have how definition-wise of politics is influenced in some way by religion. Um, then, lastly, in this section, there was a poll. I'm going to read it from it. There's a poll that was taken by the Associated Press, and it asked in our nation, in the U.S. nation, whether or not they thought, citizens thought that religious leaders should try to influence government decisions, and 37% said yes. 66 or so said no. But so we see there that politics in general and history. So we've seen how it's gone through history, stood the test of time, and how it affects our politics. And even so that in this article I'm reading you from December 2nd in the Houston Chronicle, written by Adele and Banks, talks about this. There's a religious advocacy group, and they are trying to make um, a pledge here that they want presidential candidates to sign, and that states that religious freedom must that they believe that religious freedom must be applied equally to all religious communities in America, including Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, and others. That at the same time, religious freedom does not mandate belief, but protects the right not to believe. So we see here even more that in this recent campaign and in this presidential race, how the citizens are wanting to have religion affect and religious freedom be applied. So there is affecting government decisions. Then nextly would be money decisions, and that's really big because a lot of times you'll go and you'll look through your budget and different things, and and I've had teachers and preachers and different people tell me that no matter what, if they start out uh, their budget with tithe or giving their money to God, then we have there that the budget works out. And so there we see that religion, giving to God, affects our money decisions. And religion can define a lot of geography, cultural. There's actually a thing called cultural geography where they define a nation based on its religion, stuff like that. And so, like for example, how the U.S. is a Christian nation is defined, and that's in my our World Today World Geography textbook. Um, then lastly, and the biggest thing is how it affects our health. There's an article online by Kids, I believe it's KidZone.com. It was written by Dr. Stephen Dowshin. He's an MD, and I'm going to read what his quote that he has. Claims that religion and making a spiritual journey might help you and your family live a healthier, both live a healthier life, both emotionally and physically. So we see there that religion is a positive thing for our health. So I hope that through what I've talked about, that you've been able to see how religion affects us in every way and shouldn't be taken for granted. Now, is there any questions?
Why did you choose John 1:1?
Well, I had chosen John 1:1, like I said, that's how um, basically that it is like religion and that affects us and has stood the test of time and history because it's talking about how Jesus is the word that stood the test of time. So that is that's basically is that it, like religion, has stood the test of time and history and it affects us.